Hello and welcome to Down to the Wire. I'm Ross,
I'm Bryce.
and we got a good show for you today. So we're going to be starting off with Blake Snell and his words on how the MLB season should be going. Then we're going to go into Bryce Harper's ideas and what he piggybacking what Blake Snell said. We're going to move right into the DeAndre Baker and Quentin Dunbar incident with the armed robbery. We're going to go into James Harrison, and then we got the NFC East for you. For our first segment today, we're going to be talking about Blake Snell, his statements that were made on Twitch while he was playing MLB The Show. If you're not playing outside, you might as well get it somewhere, and he was getting it inside. So basically, from his quote in Twitch, he said, "Y'all got to understand, man. For me to go, for me to take a pay cut is not happening because the risk is through the roof." So basically, he started off by saying that the risks aren't worth the benefit. If anything, he thinks they should be getting paid the full salary, not even the slightest little bit less, even the prorated salary that they originally thought of. And Bryce, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I, Blake Snell made a good point. He's pretty much the first guy to come out and say something about this whole situation. Um, he's supposed to make, before all these weird money rule changes happened in the MLB, he was supposed to make like 7 million this year, and after all the changes are going to be made, he's going to make like a little less than a million. Um, and he talked about like the benefits aren't going to be worth it, but I think from his view, there's barely even going to be any benefits unless he gets paid, uh, a reasonable amount. So, he makes a good point. I can't blame him. Um, and, I mean, he's going from making $7 million, which is going to be, you know, more than enough to pay taxes and help out his family and all that. But, you know, now he's getting paid less than 1 million. What if he gets the virus, needs to pay the medical bill for that, on top of taxes, paying for his house and his family and all of that? So, uh, you know, it's a good point. I don't know how Rob Manfred feels about this or the rest of the MLB, but I'm sure a lot of players agree with him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I fully agree with him. I understand the risk is high, and you don't want to get out on the field. I mean, he's making a little over $1 million after all this is prorated and everything, and I understand how you would feel only 50% of the revenue going to them this year if it happens, or that's what the proposed idea would be. But you have to even look at it for guys, and I'm just going to bring up a guy like Aaron Judge. All right, so made 1.8 million his first year in 2013. I guess that was his. I don't even think he got called up. He got called up in 16. I think that was his original contract. But if you look, he's only made 3 million up to this point, or almost 4 million in his career. He was on set to make 8.5 this year. So if you look at just even the guy like Judge, you've made if this whole season had started from this beginning, you'd have only been making almost $13 million in your whole career. I mean, for him, 13 million is a lot of money. But the point is that Judge is not a $13 million player by all means throughout his career so far. So a guy like him who's already been injured, you want to take this season off, maybe to even get healthy. A guy like Blake Snell, he's never really had an injury history, so maybe for someone like him, it's less of a risk, or just the risk of getting corona. So you have to take that into account. Not everyone's is coming from the same pay salary and pay cut. I also don't. Bryce Harper shouldn't be commenting on this. The guy's making $22 million. The guy's already set for life. I just, unless he's buying everything he shouldn't be, I think as much as you want to take the guys who are the heads of baseball, which Bryce Harper you could say is a big deal in baseball right now, I just don't know if you can honestly take the. You can't ask them. They're going to say they don't want to play. They already made their money. The guy, like I said, Judge may not want to play. He's making $500,000, $8 million this year. It doesn't make sense for him. So, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't even fully agree with Snell because I really want to see baseball this season.
I think everyone
Uh,
does. Yeah,
But and I feel bad for the people who are making like 1 million because now it's just going to be way less than that. So it's like, what are they going to do with their financial lives for the next year, 2 years?
Yeah, even for guys in the minor leagues, it's a big deal. It's
Yeah.
Bryce Harper did make an Instagram post. It was his idea in the MLB season. Bryce, if you'd like to take us through this.
Yeah, so Bryce Harper posted this on his Instagram. Um, I guess you could say his idea maybe was fairly popular because the Instagram post had like 95,000 likes. And when you're reading an Instagram post like that, you shouldn't just like it for no reason. So for everyone who liked it, I'm assuming they actually liked his idea. Um, yeah, so this is what he said. Beyond the health and safety which comes first for all players, staff, workers, fans, and families, just an idea I have been thinking about. East and West leagues, conferences, whatever you want to call it, like the NBA. And then he gave us basically a timeline. So they would be playing all of July, they would be playing all of August, throughout all of September and October, and then the first 15 days in November. That apparently would add up to about 135 baseball games. An off day every 2 weeks on a Monday, and then the Sunday before that Monday, a doubleheader, 7 innings for each game. Then 30 players for each team, 6-man pitching rotation. He said save arms if pitchers wanted this, if not, no big deal. DH and any other ideas possible. For the playoffs, 2-week World Series, like Super Bowl week. 10 teams, round robin format, college World Series kind of style at the new Texas Stadium or whatever stadiums/stadiums are best. 3-game series. You win the series, you move on. You lose, you play the other loser in a 1-game wild card. Winner of that moves on, other teams out. Or you could just play in Vegas, so you have the Strip hotels and could use one hotel for all the guys and contain possibly question mark. 2 teams left in the 7-game World Series. They get 2 days off before the World Series. With those 2 days off, you do a All-Star game and Home Run Derby. Could do the MLB awards as well at that time. Open this up on all platforms, no blackouts. Open it up for everybody to watch. Thank you. Backup season the next 2 years, May 1st, 2021, April 1st, 2022. Maybe I'm crazy, just for fun to think about and throw around ideas, is basically everything he said.
See, I don't know. I mean, it's an idea for sure. It's definitely an idea. I just, again, I'm assuming he thought this out well and he spoke to his agent before he posts
Yeah.
anything like this. But really, like again, I think as much as they say, and it's true, fans end up backing the owners up, and you look at history and that, the owner, it's obviously the owners in the MLB itself will end up trying to make somewhat have the final say. I don't fully I don't fully agree with any of the ideas that have come up so far. This has maybe been the most practical, and I like that a player definitely put this out there. Maybe he spoke to other guys before he put it out there and agreed with him. But I don't know. I think again, this is something we just got to leave to the owners and the headquarters MLB themselves. Get to the players and make an agreement. I don't think anyone here is right or wrong. I think it's just It's very simple. Do the players want baseball? They do. Does Major League Baseball want it? Yes. From that point forward, make it simple. I don't understand. Like, I know there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes that we don't know, but there's ways to make this a lot easier, and I don't think it's been dealt with appropriately. Um, as far as being able to be able to get everyone involved. So, Bryce, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, it's an idea. It's definitely not a bad idea. It's not a great one
Yeah,
either, though. But it's hard to come up with an idea for the season at this point. It's hard for anyone to come up with an idea, a fan, a player, an owner, the commissioner, whoever. Um, and I mean, you know, I actually, my favorite part about this is that he said, open this up on all platforms, no blackouts, let everybody watch it. and this is a discussion for another day, the whole uh, marketing problem that MLB has. I'll talk about that in another episode, but just real quick, I like that I said that because, MLB doesn't market themselves well enough, and if you're on the East, if you're a Yankees fan living in New York and you want to watch one of the more well-known teams, like the Dodgers play a game against another team on the other side of the country, you can't unless the Dodgers are playing the Yankees or the Mets or someone in this area. So I like that he said open it up on all platforms because
Oh, okay, I agree with that, but they have this, like, you can pay the monthly subscription just like any.
yeah,
Like, if
but
you're a Lakers fan, you can't watch a Lakers game unless you live in LA or California. So
no,
it's the
it's
same
it's
concept.
easier because no, it's easier in the NBA because they'll have the game of the week or whatever. So if the Lakers are playing the Sixers, it's not going to be hard to get that on ESPN. But uh, if you're a baseball fan, yeah, but you have to pay for the MLB Network thing or whatever you're talking about. Not
Yeah, but you
everybody
get
can
some.
afford that.
There's some games nationally televised. Some
Yeah,
games are
but not
nationally
that
televised.
much. It's the
I wouldn't
marketing
say.
problem is a discussion for
Well,
another day.
I
Just
wouldn't say it's not as often as being able to see the Lakers play another team. And and I know this is going to come into another time, but it's also part of it. If you look, it's because of the M, the NBA. It's a one game series. Every game's a one game series when you play a team. It's one game basically. You play them during the season. Baseball is a 3 game series, so you can't really do that as easily
I
because you
mean,
got to
you
play.
don't have to play the whole series on television.
Yeah, but it comes up to pitchers, and it's going to be like, okay, you got to get the right starting pitcher. It creates a problem, but this is not. This is going off the topic, but so on to our next segment. Giants DeAndre Baker and Seahawks Quentin Dunbar had turned themselves in on an armed robbery charge. Apparently, um, they were playing cards or something like that. They lost $70,000 one day. Excuse me. Um, Came back the next day with a gun, someone else, and they both had guns. And they went over to this one guy. They said, go shoot this other guy. I don't know, some whole crap, all this crap happened. I have no clue. But basically, there are reports now that Quentin Dunbar of the Seahawks has now been, through 5 affidavits, been found that he was not involved. Though he was there, I think he was not involved as far as the armory. So, how do you feel about this, Bryce? What are your opinions?
Kind of unfortunate. I mean, as a Giants fan, I don't really want uh, a player on the team I root for getting involved in illegal activities. So, you know, I don't need there to be a chance of uh, ruined reputation or something like that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if he's found guilty, um, I mean, the Giants should just do whatever they need to do to clean it up as best they can, whether that means a suspension or just cutting him from the team or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're both not on my favorite team, so I don't know how I feel about this. I just, again, any armed robbery is bad. Over
Yeah.
$70,000. I know you can always say, oh yeah, they're in the NFL or whatever. They're making thousands of dollars. Someone else may not be making, so why worry about 70,000? I mean, you don't know their backgrounds. Even a dollar can mean a lot. Even though it's a dollar. I don't think Tom Brady would love losing as much as he could live through it. I don't think he'd love losing a $20 bill. It's you know
Yeah.
it's that simple. So, especially let alone $70,000. So, I mean, that's one of those things that's always going to happen with the game of cards if you're dealing with the wrong people. And I'm sorry it had to happen with 2 NFL players. So on to our next segment. The former Steelers linebacker James Harrison. He spent 2 seasons, I think, with the Steelers, if I'm correct. Stand corrected. In 2010, he made a hit on Mohamed Masakawi. I don't know his name. Number 11 for the Browns, quarterback. One of the many on the list of people they just continue to have on this quarterbacks. Uh, and it was in the second quarter of an NFL football game on October 17th. So after this game, and James Harrison made this hit, he got fined for giving I'm not even going to try to say that last name, Mohammed, a concussion. So, in after that, in response to that, Mike Tomlin, the coach, a pretty relatively new coach at the time, walked up to him with an envelope. We do not know what was in that envelope. He did not mention what was in that envelope. I would not be surprised if it was $75,000 or a little more than that. People are making this out to be something like a scandal, like the Saints had with Bountygate, when where they paid players or defensive players to hurt the other team's quarterback. And Bryce, how do you feel about this?
Uh, it's a tricky situation, a little confusing. I mean, you know, if Tomlin's not allowed to pay his fine for him, then I guess it's a little scandalous. And if it is allowed, then so be it, I guess. I mean, it's a weird, tricky situation. I'm not sure why he brought this up 10 years later. Um, Maybe he needs attention, I don't know. But
It's one of those things. Quarantine, bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored. So yeah, I don't know. But TikTok
yeah,
happens for everyone. But yeah. So I don't know how I feel about this completely. I totally. I mean, I feel like him saying the story now, there was freaking no need unless he has something against Mike Tomlin. I have no clue. But to be honest with you, it, it's something like I'm paying. He tried his hardest. He hit the guy. Okay, the guy got a concussion. I don't think the hit was necessarily wrong. I don't think there was anything that was really wrong with the rule. I think it was just the NFL saw it was a hard hit, and they had to fine him. Now he was playing hard. And, if you're gonna have a team's gonna, unless their team's not allowed, which I'm not even sure based on the rules, but a team should be allowed to pay someone's fine if they are just agreeing that the player played hard. It wasn't like he was out to get him. It didn't seem like James Harrison throughout his career has ever had any malintentions or anything like
yeah,
that. So this is one of those things, just he'll pay it because he plays hard. It's nothing wrong with it. It's not like Bountygate where they were intentionally paying players, but I
yeah,
think it was to set the tone. That's for sure. It was to
yeah.
set it.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the big deal is, who pays the fine as long as it's paid, but I don't have the NFL rulebook. Okay, so now we're moving on to the NFC East standings, my division, unfortunately. But
Yikes.
but for some, to spark your guys' memory, in case you didn't know, the Eagles went 9-7 last year, and the Cowboys went 8-8. The Giants went 4-12, and the Redskins went 3-13. So I'll go first, I guess, with the order. So honestly, I think it's going to be the same order as last year. Eagles are going to be first. This division is either very competitive or one of the weakest in the NFL, and I hate it. But
The
the
AFL. You mean the NFL?
did I say AFL?
Yeah, you said AFL.
I meant NFL. I'm sorry, but
Throw back to '69 when they just won the Super Bowl and the AFL was a thing. Woo! All right, anyway.
but it's gonna be the same as last year. Eagles are gonna be first with 9 or 10 wins. The Cowboys are gonna have their usual 8 or maybe 7, something like that. Second place. Giants will be third with like 5 wins or 4 or something, and the Redskins are gonna be horrible again as usual with like 3 or 4 wins.
Okay, I got. Honestly, if Dak Prescott gets signed before the season, I got the Cowboys. If he gets signed, if he does not, I have the Eagles. So it's going to be flip flop. But barring that Prescott's still not signed, now we're going to go with the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Redskins. I think whoever's number two, it could probably be potential that the Giants, I think, could get up to number two there. I don't know if it's potential. I don't know if they can this year. But yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. Yeah. So brightest
All right.
future.
Yeah. Bryce future. I'm gonna be so brutally honest. No one has that bright of a future. If I had to pick one, Cowboys or Giants, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I just there's not much to say. Really, no one in this division has that bright of a future. Uh, I'm sorry, that's it. This is depressing me.
I got the Redskins. I think Dwayne Haskins is going to be good. I think Alex Smith, whether he's going to have his feet under him or not, definitely is. If he's a backup to him, we'll definitely be able to help him out. If he's starting and then Haskins ends up taking over, good for him, and I think that'll be perfect. I think Haskins was put in a really poor role last season. I don't know if they did much. I'm not a big Redskins guy, so I don't know if they fixed the offensive line for him because he seemed to not like him last year. But definitely, uh, that's something I'd like to see. I think Chase Young was a great pick for them on defense. I think that could turn out to be really nice. So
Yeah.
I got the Redskins. But yeah, and I'm sorry, Giants fans. Barkley's great. And I'm not saying this because Bryce is a Giants fan and he went at me last week, but I will say I don't think Barkley and Daniel Jones will bring you to the promised land. Just my opinion.
Barkley's a
But
top three running back in the league. He can't carry us on his back to the playoffs.
oh no, he's a great running back. I don't know if he's top three. I think he's top five running back in the league, but I don't know if
As much as I love him, he can't carry us.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it's not a runners. I feel like it's less of a running back league now. I think you
Yeah.
see the top. There's like 3 to 5 running backs every year that are good, and then after that, it's just you got to have a passing game. You got to have a bit of both. So yeah, it's not like the Derrick Henry moment last year. All right, I'm sorry. As much as okay, he's good. Barkley's good. He is no freaking Derrick Henry. So I'm sorry. I don't know if he can do exactly what Derrick Henry did last year. I'd like to see it. I don't know if he can do exactly what Henry did. He is not a monster. He's got monster legs, but that's about it. All right, and most improved for you, Bryce, next year.
Again, barely anyone's gonna improve. Uh,
You could always just say the Jets, even though they're not in this division.
is none of the above an option?
I guess. Yeah, I don't see anyone really. I
I've
honestly, hmm?
go
No,
go
I
ahead.
only see the Cowboys improving again if Dak Prescott signed. I think that's the only thing. I think this team really likes him. I think they ride with him as their guy, and I think that'll definitely help a team like that, especially with the additions they got with CD Lamb and whatnot. Again, I really the whole the whole this whole division and any change happening, I think is barring Dak Prescott getting signed. But that's again, I think another story for another time. Can make a whole segment out of that. All
Yeah.
right, so thank you for listening to Out to the Wire today. Again, I'm Ross.
I'm Bryce.
Like and subscribe below. Feel free to comment below any ideas you have in the future, anything you'd like us to talk about, any questions you'd like us to answer. We'd love to maybe do something where we answer a few questions, a quick segment like that. And definitely make sure to click the follow and notification bell, all that. Follow us on Instagram, description below, all that good stuff. And we'll catch you later. Peace.